Hey everyone, welcome back. So, what are we doing today? Today we're going to go get some gas. Clearly the car is running. It's not running amazing, but it is running. I am currently working on the tune here on the laptop. The car's still a little cold, so I'm not going to make too many changes just now. The first thing I need to do is bed the brakes in. So, we're looking at 6 to 10, 30 to 35 mile an hour moderate pressure braking. So let's try that. Of course, I can't see how fast I'm going because I covered up the damn speedometer. But we'll assume this is fast enough. One. And of course, there's someone behind me. To do 2 to 3 from 40 to 45. Ever since owning this car had the front brakes lock up, so that's interesting. These are definitely much better pads. So let's go over what's going on. In the previous videos, I'm sure you've noticed we've had some issues. So one of the things that I did was I used my laser thermometer, which, you know, the whole time I was troubleshooting, I made sure to check it in the same spot every time, because you can't reproduce an issue if you start checking it in different spots. Well, it never occurred to me to check it further down the tube. So what I did was, instead of being right at the head, I checked it down basically where the other cylinder is. They almost overlap the tubes. If I check it down there, it's almost 200 degrees hotter. Oh my gosh, like that moment was so, I don't want to say eye-opening, it was, but it just kind of hurt my pride because I just never thought to check that. You know, I just thought, okay, this is coming straight out of the cylinder. I mean, it's directly after the flange, right? So when I would test it, the flange is here, I would go 1/8 of an inch past the flange. I mean, right on the header tube. You would think as the combustion gases come out, it would heat that part of the head the most. Well, if it's cooling that part of the head the best, or the header, then that's going to be the coldest spot. All right, so we've discovered that my testing was flawed, which sucks. We have discovered that the tune may have an issue with it. It would actually run fine if I would rev it up, right? So at idle, it seemed to run cold. If I'd rev it, that tube would get hot. So that was kind of a constant the entire time, but something I never really thought about. I just figured maybe that injector wasn't firing until after idle. Come to find out, I think it was just the header getting hot. And I think the injector may have been firing the whole time. I don't know. It's frustrating. It's frustrating to spend that much time and that much energy on an issue that probably didn't exist. So here we are. We're putting the first, well, we got 10 miles on it at this point. We're going to get gas. And other than the tune kind of being everywhere, all over the place, car's running really good. So the next few things we got to do, I'm going to drive this for a while. Like I said, I'm going to drive for about 500 miles, assuming nothing breaks, I don't have any issues with it, and I'm able to do so. I'm going to try and square the tune in so that, you know, it's at least drivable. Once we get past the 500 miles, I need to get it back in the shop. I got a new radiator for it. So this plastic radiator is the same one from the 2001 Camaro that I originally pulled everything out of. So it's aluminum in the fin portion, and then on the end tanks it's plastic. And what they do is they actually crimp the aluminum around the plastic, and it's supposed to seal right there. And this entire time it's done very well. You know, the last, what has it been, 7 years? But I pressure tested it the other day, and I noticed that at the clamp it was leaking, just bubbling a little bit. Nothing too crazy, but certainly a leak. And going on this trip to the Redwood Rally, I don't want weird small issues like that. So I bought a new radiator. It's full aluminum. It's a cheap one. It was only 130 bucks on Amazon. And I'm gonna have to do a few things to make it work. But that needs to go in. I shredded the AC belt because I think my idler the bearing was just wore out. I mean, I've seen on that idler for a while that it's kind of tipped towards the second belt, towards the front. And I think with the 8 rib and maybe some other change that may have happened, that belt started riding forward and then it got chewed up. So I have a new idler, have a new belt, and I can't get to any of that with the radiator in anyway, so it all has to come out. So it's good timing. So we're going to put a new radiator in. We're going to put a new idler for the AC, new belt, and then I noticed, coincidentally, just the other day that the water pump is leaking out of the weep hole. So that's, you know, again, coincidental, but works out timing-wise. So what we're going to do is we're going to do all that at the same time, and then hopefully the cooling system's all squared away. It feels weird to drive this car again. It's been so long. So right now I'm at E79, says the sensor. So what I'm going to do is run, I'm going to put pump gas in it right now. I just want to do like a half and half because I'm not sure what the tune's going to need for pump gas, right? So right now I'm on the Sloppy Mechanics tune, like I said, if that wasn't clear. And so it has a sensor that'll read either way. I need to make some adjustments to the base tune. Right now it wants one thing because it's on E85, but it might want something else on pump gas. It's such a strange thing to have the car completely torn apart and then just be driving it in traffic and hoping that everything goes okay, because it so rarely does. Shut you off till I find something fun to say. Boy, now we're at E31, but I did mix 9 gallons with like 5, so it kind of makes sense. Check everything over. I need to look at the brakes, need to check the oil, a bunch of things. Just gonna hang out here and I'll be back with you. Alright, welcome back. So check the car over, everything looks good, oil looks good. Don't see any issues, no weird leaks, so off we go. I think I might throw my idle air control valve, maybe even the TPS sensor from my 92mm throttle body, because that's all stock GM stuff, and this is like cheap Amazon stuff. This doesn't seem like it's catching the idle fast enough. Alright, so she's pulling a lot of fuel at idle now that we're not on E85, which makes sense. $5 a gallon. Woo-wee. That's gonna be an expensive road trip. Whether or not I have to wear earplugs or make a new exhaust. Too hard to get 500 miles. This thing drives pretty good. So the other things I need to do are I need to make the trailer, which shouldn't be that hard. It's a pre-made thing, right? It comes out of the box and it should just work. But the small changes I need to make, I kind of have to figure out how and, well, I need to figure out how I want to do it, but I need to figure out how to make it so that it'll still fit my trailer. Which we'll go over that at the time. And then I need to put a hitch on this thing somehow. I have my heat exchanger lines run behind the fuel tank, which is right where I would put the receiver. I may make some drop down brackets. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. I need to get it up in there and just kind of see what looks like it'll work. But I also want it to be strong, right? Because I don't want any issues. Oh, and a roll cage, no big deal. Only bent two tubes in my life, one of which was acceptable. So now I'm just going to jump right to a roll cage. Should be fine. Should be totally fine. All right, so here we are. I've been driving the car the last few days, and I was in a hurry today, so I was kind of getting on it a little bit, first and second gear, maybe third, possibly. I don't really remember. And we have shredded the belt. So insert picture. Basically, the other day when I got on it a little bit, I mean, we're talking like a few seconds each gear, I noticed on the adjuster that it had jumped forward 2 teeth, which was kind of weird. And I honestly, I knew it would happen again. I just kind of forgot about it in the moment. So it did it, and then it shredded. And now I'm stuck. My wife was kind enough to bring me tools and my belt as a backup. And hopefully we can get this thing back on the road. So let's see. So it looks like I need to contact Olson Custom Works. They made the idler bracket for the F-body setup that I'm using. Unfortunately, I found this in the bottom of the engine bay. Not beautiful, not great. Basically, it's separated from the bearing. Let's see if I can get you down there. Right there. Right there, you can see it. It's got a bearing, but does not have an idler. So that sucks. That means that I'm stuck here. Cool. All right, here we are. Car is off. We have no charging system because the pulley is missing. Car is already at operating temperature, so it can't run it very long because the water pump's not turning. Yeah, this is not an optimal situation, but we're making the most out of it.
trying not to have to go home and unload my trailer just to bring it down here to tow my car. So we'll see if I make it home. Fingers crossed.